What do you do when your very first movie as a director gets buried under lawsuits, public fights, and shocking accusations? If you're Rebel Wilson, you don't slow down for a second. You launch an even bigger project right in the middle of the chaos. At 45, the pitch-perfect star has taken her career into uncharted territory, stepping behind the camera while lawyers and producers try to drag her through court. But instead of hiding, Rebel's turning the spotlight back on herself. And the story behind her latest move is even wilder than the film she's making. The new project Rebel's newest gamble is a comedy called Girl Group. She's not just starring, she's writing, directing, and producing the whole thing. And get this, the cameras are already rolling in the UK with names like Randall Park and Sheridan Smith joining the cast. The plot sounds almost too fitting. Rebel plays a washed-up pop star who gets kicked off her reunion tour, then sentenced to community service. Instead of giving up, she takes a group of chaotic teenage girls and tries to turn them into the next big act. But as she pushes them harder and harder, the story forces her to face the very toxic industry that broke her down in the first place. It's almost like Rebel wrote her own life into the script. A messy fall from grace, a fight to rebuild, and the pressure of proving everyone wrong. And that parallel is what makes Girl Group so fascinating. On one side, you've got the fictional comeback on screen. On the other, Rebel herself battling lawsuits and critics while trying to prove she can still run the show. The Instagram flex. If you scroll through Rebel's Instagram right now, you wouldn't think she's knee-deep in courtroom drama. Instead, she's posting snapshots from the Girl Group set, smiling in costume, rocking long blonde hair, and throwing out captions that sound almost defiant. One post shows her surrounded by cast members and extras with the line, "Directing with this great team is easy." Another has her beaming in full pop star mode, as if nothing in the world could touch her momentum. The vibe is clear. Rebel wants fans to see her not as someone stuck in legal battles, but as a leader on set, calling the shots. Every photo feels like a reminder that she's still in control of her own story, and that confidence only adds more fuel to the buzz around this film. But while her new project looks glamorous on social media, the storm brewing behind the scenes tells a completely different story. What happened with The Deb before Girl Group ever started filming? Rebel's first directing project, The Deb, was supposed to be her big breakthrough. It even premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2024, giving audiences a first look at what many thought would be a quirky, feel-good musical. But after that debut, the movie completely vanished. No streaming release, no wide theatrical run, nothing. Why? Because almost immediately the film became buried under lawsuits. Producers and Rebel clashed over credits, finances, and even the treatment of cast members. What should have been a career milestone quickly spiraled into a legal mess so tangled, the movie still hasn't been released to the public. For Rebel, it was a crushing reality check. Her directorial debut was alive on paper, but locked away in courtrooms instead of playing in theaters. And that was just the beginning of the chaos. The first lawsuit. The first legal strike came fast. In July 2024, the Deb's producers accused Rebel of trying to claim credit for music she didn't actually write. They said she was inflating her role behind the scenes to take more ownership of the film. For most stars, that kind of accusation would be career-ending silence material. But Rebel did the opposite. She went public. On Instagram, she clapped back with a post that read, "It's not defamation if it's the truth." With that one line, she flipped the entire fight into a spectacle, dragging the lawsuit straight into the spotlight. Suddenly, it wasn't just about a film credit. It was about pride, truth, and who was really in control. Fans split in two. Some backed her boldness, others wondered if she'd gone too far. But instead of dying down, the battle only escalated. Wilson's countersuit Rebel didn't stay on defense for long. Just a few months later, she and her lawyers filed a countersuit that turned the spotlight right back on the producers. She accused them of mismanaging nearly $900,000 from the movie's budget, and claimed they pressured her into signing contracts under duress. But the most explosive part was her allegation that one of the producers, Amanda Ghost, had sexually harassed the lead actress, Charlotte McInnes. An accusation Rebel said left the actress shaken and emotionally broken. It was a shocking reversal. Instead of being the one accused of overstepping, Rebel positioned herself as the whistleblower, suggesting the real misconduct was coming from the other side. Suddenly, this wasn't just a dispute over credits and money. It became a battle about power, abuse, and credibility in the film industry. And once those claims hit the public, the fight only got uglier. The fallout. By mid-2025, the battle had spiraled out of control. The producer's company, AI Film, fired back with another lawsuit, this time in Australia. They accused Rebel of deliberately sabotaging the Deb's release, claiming her public comments and legal tactics caused financial and reputational damage. For them, Rebel wasn't a victim. She was the problem. Rebel, of course, didn't let that go unanswered. She blasted the new suit on Instagram, calling it nothing more than continued bullying and harassment. To prove the movie deserved to be seen, she even posted the opening number online, almost daring the producers to stop her. Fans were torn between admiration for her boldness and concern that she was pushing the fight too far. But just when it seemed like the case couldn't get more tangled, a surprising twist threw everything into even deeper chaos. Latest twist with McInnes. The most surprising twist came not from Rebel or the producers, but from the Deb's lead actress herself, Charlotte McInnes. In August 2025, her lawyers filed a legal complaint that directly pushed back on Rebel's countersuit. McInnes stated that she had never been a victim of harassment, completely denying the claims Rebel made on her behalf. She said the accusations were false, and the whole idea that she had suffered a breakdown because of misconduct was something she strenuously and repeatedly rejected. That revelation stunned fans and observers. If McInnes herself was denying Rebel's most explosive allegation, then who was telling the truth? Was Rebel exposing corruption, or was she overplaying her hand in a desperate attempt to win her case? The contradictions left the entire situation murkier than ever, with no clear answers and credibility on both sides under fire. And yet, while the legal fog thickened, Rebel was already making her next move. Rebel's strategy: push forward. Most people would have stepped back, stayed quiet, and let the lawyers battle it out. But Rebel Wilson isn't playing that game. Instead, she's charging ahead with Girl Group, using it as her way of proving that no lawsuit, no producer, and no controversy can stop her. On social media, she's framing the film as exactly what audiences need right now: uplifting, funny, empowering. In other words, the opposite of the toxic chaos surrounding the Deb. It's a bold strategy. By putting herself back in front of the camera while also steering the ship behind it, she's daring Hollywood to take her seriously as a director. Not just the comedic actress everyone remembers from Pitch Perfect. But the risk is huge. If Girl Group succeeds, Rebel comes out of this saga as the underdog who turned scandal into strength. If it fails, the lawsuits could end up overshadowing her entire career. So the question remains, is Rebel rewriting her story as Hollywood's comeback fighter, or is she gambling everything on a movie that might never escape the shadow of her past? Rebel Wilson's journey right now looks less like a traditional Hollywood comeback, and more like a high-stakes gamble. She's fighting lawsuits, facing public contradictions, and risking her reputation, all while pouring her energy into a movie that mirrors her own battles with fame and failure. For some, she's a fighter refusing to be silenced. For others, she's stirring up more drama than she can control. What's undeniable is this: Rebel has placed herself at the center of her own storm, and she's not backing down. Whether Girl Group becomes her redemption story or another chapter in the chaos is a question only time and audiences can answer. So, what do you think? Is Rebel Wilson building a bold new legacy, or is she one misstep away from losing everything?